All right, let's dive right in. We're looking at a really fascinating piece today from Coach Nicholas Serenati, and he makes this pretty bold claim. He says the single most important player in soccer is actually the one you probably notice the least. So, let me ask you this. Who is the most important player on a soccer field? Come on, think about it for a sec. Who's the first person that pops into your head? Is it that star striker, the one bagging all the goals? Or maybe that crafty number 10 midfielder, the one who's always pulling the strings? Well, here's the thing. According to the analysis we're digging into, if any of those players was your answer, you might be looking at the game completely wrong. And look, it's totally understandable why you think that. I mean, the goal scorer gets the huge celebration. They're all over the headlines. They get all the glory, right? That's the moment everyone remembers. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a much, much deeper game happening underneath. Okay, so for our first section, let's start by peeling back that myth of glory. We're going to look past the big headlines to find this unseen foundation, the thing that every single win is actually built on. And Coach Serenati uses this brilliant metaphor here. He calls the center back the structural engineer of the match. I mean, think about that. It totally reframes the position, doesn't it? A center back isn't just some destroyer out there to smash things. No, they're a creator. They're literally building the platform for everything that happens further up the field. All right, that brings us to our second big idea. And this one is, it's a core concept, and it might surprise you. To really get the center back's value, you first have to understand that soccer isn't actually about the ball.
Yeah, you heard me right. I'll just let that hang there for a second. See, our whole lives, what are we told? Watch the ball. Keep your eye on the ball. But the thing is, for elite players and coaches, that's just a distraction.
The game is really about space. It's won and lost in how you control space. Those dangerous pockets where goals come from. And guess who lives in that most valuable real estate on the entire field? Yep, the center back. And this really gets to the brainy side of the game. See, elite center backs, they're not just chasing an opponent around. They are constantly calculating, okay, where's the most probable threat going to come from? How can I shut down this space to give the other guy less time? It's a game of chess, not checkers. And this all leads to two totally different ways of defending. On one side, you've got what we call reactive defending. The stuff that makes the highlight reels, those last-ditch tackles and desperate blocks. But really, that's just chaos. Then on the other side, you have proactive defending. This is what the best of the best do. It's all about anticipation, about positioning. It's about killing the danger before it even has a chance to become a highlight. It is all about control. Okay, now here's where the whole argument gets even crazier. The center back isn't just the rock at the back. They are the launch pad for the entire offense.
Just think about that for a second. We always think of playmaking as the job of some elegant midfielder, right? The number 10. But in today's game, it's simple. If your center back can't start the attack, your team is completely stuck. The whole thing starts with them.
So what does that actually look like on the field? Well, it means they're the ones who have to stay cool under pressure and find that first pass. It means having the vision to thread a sharp ball right through the opponent's midfield, which instantly flips the script and puts the other team in trouble. And sometimes they even have to drive forward with the ball themselves to create an advantage. So what this all boils down to is this. All that fancy, exciting attacking play we love to watch, it is 100% dependent on the brains and the skill of the players at the very back. If that first crucial piece isn't there, the whole machine just grinds to a halt. Nothing happens. And that leads us right into their next big role, being the on-field brain of the team. They're like the central processing unit, the CPU that controls the whole system. Think about it like this. Everybody else on the field is kind of caught up in their own little personal battle, right? They only see a small piece of the puzzle. But the center back, they have this totally unique view. They're the only one facing the entire game. They see all 10 of their teammates, they see the opponent's entire formation, they see the whole chessboard. And because they can see the whole system, they're the ones who get to control it. They're the ones deciding, okay, now we push up, or nope, drop back. They make sure the whole team stays squeezed together, so there are no gaps for the other team to play in. They're constantly talking, organizing, basically directing traffic out there. It's a huge, huge tactical job. And this is where we get into the almost psychic ability of the truly great defenders. You know, the most important work they do is often completely invisible if you're just watching casually. Why? Because they're preventing fires from ever starting, not just running around putting them out.
So how in the world do they do that? Well, first, they learn to read the other team's attacking patterns. Then, they anticipate where the players are going to move. And based on that, they put themselves in a position to cut off the passing lane before the pass is even kicked. It's this four-step process of pure soccer IQ that all happens in a split second. It's incredible.
All right, and for our final point, all of this stuff we've talked about, it all builds up to their most fundamental role of all, being the team's true foundation. And we're not just talking tactically here. This is psychological. You know, soccer is such a fragile game mentally. If your attacking players know they've got an absolute rock behind them, a foundation that just will not crumble, then they feel free. They can take risks, they can get creative, they can play with swagger and confidence. But without that stability, the whole team gets hesitant. They start playing with fear. And really, this is the biggest takeaway. Those flashy moments of glory are exciting for sure, but championships, they're built on control, on stability, on prevention. At the end of the day, it's the center back who decides the terms of the entire match. They're the ones who dictate whether your team is playing the game on your terms or just reacting to chaos.
So let's just wrap this all up. A great center back does so much more than just protect the goal. They are the organizer, the first attacker, the controller of space, the psychological anchor, and the architect of the team's entire structure. They are, quite simply, the foundation of everything. So I'll leave you with this. Next time you sit down to watch a match, are you still going to be watching the ball? Are you just going to focus on the goal scorer? Or are you going to look a little deeper and find the architect who made the whole thing possible? Something to think about.